meeting for Monday, November 17th will now come to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, good evening. Since our last meeting in September, we've had a terrible loss of our fellow commissioner, Jerry Frederick, who also served on the Zoning Board of Appeal as chairman. And we will really miss him. And at this time, I'd like to request that we have a moment of silence. Thank you. Next, roll call.
Roll call. Mr. Glutfelty,
Excused.
Mr. McAnally,
Present.
Mr. Long,
Present.
Ms. Roscoe,
Here.
Ms. Jamison,
Here.
Mr. Crover,
Here.
Bubade is here, Ms. Freitag,
Excused. And Mr. Frederick is forever excused and in our hearts and prayers. Next item, approval of agenda.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Ms. Jimison, supported by Mr. Long. Is there any discussion? Roll call. Ms. Jimison?
Yes.
Mr. Long?
Yes.
Mr. Krova?
Yes.
Mr. Boboade?
yes.
And I also vote yes. Motion carried. Next is the approval of the minutes from our meeting held on Monday, September 15th, 2025.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes.
Is there
Support.
Motion by Mr. Krova, supported by Ms. Jamison. Is there any discussion? Roll call. Mr. Krova.
Yes.
Ms. Jamison.
Yes.
Mr. Long.
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe.
Yes.
Mr. Boboade.
Yes.
And I vote yes. Motion is approved. And next, we have comments from the public on non-agenda items. Seeing, is there anybody in the audience that's here to speak on something that's not on our agenda? Seeing nobody, move on to public hearings. We have none. Item 7, old business. SPR 2022-001, global truck repair. They're here for an extension of their site plan approval. Is there somebody here representing them? Could you,
He has something, so I just show up.
okay, could we get your name and address for the record?
Yes. My name is Habib Almeyahi, and the address is 28176 Ecorse, Global Truck Repair.
Okay. And you were looking for an extension.
Yes.
Now, we just passed a zoning text amendment, and it was approved by City Council, that allows us to give a one-year extension.
Correct.
But yet I'm seeing here that you're saying, no, let's do 6 months.
Yes. We, on both of these that you're seeing tonight are unique, and they're unique in their own ways. This one should be set to go. They've got some few cleanup things to do on the site plan, but they should be in engineering. They've already, I'm trying to
Yeah, I was
kind
gonna
of,
say, I can kind of explain this one a little bit.
Yeah.
I know they come in, and once they saw you guys, they got a conditional approval. They worked through the process to get a tree and woodlands permit to clear part of the lot. This was back a year ago, I'd say. Clear part of the lot to get ready, and then they were going to move forward and submit for engineering, and the lot was cleared, and then now nothing's moved. Do you have an update on kind of where things are?
I mean, we just clean it all, so hopefully on the 26th beginning, we're gonna start something, building something. So the reason why we just late, because when I applied for the loan, it was that 24 is not enough income, so they said 25, I'm gonna raise it up, so that's the reason, that money issue, that's all. But we're ready for it.
So we just are recommending now that there is just this 1 year period, breaking it up. And if, after 6 months, if they don't have a permit pulled, then they just come back and see you for another 6 months. But we think they can
But
get.
are we anticipating just ignoring the ordinance?
No, it's just that the first two that have come in have already activity, again, they're unique. This one's got a tree clearing permit already.
Yes.
And then you'll hear the story about the second one, afterwards.
So we don't anticipate coming next time for an extension, say, well, we want this one to be 3 months, or we want this one to be 15
No,
months.
they only have 12 months. They can only get 12
Okay,
months.
so it's
just-
gonna stay within
it's
the
because-
guise of the ordinance.
Right, it's because we need them to get going. They've cleared property. So it's ready for development. There's no reason why they shouldn't be able to submit engineering and get those appropriate permits that they need.
Are you agreeable to that?
I mean, 6 months, because, the new year is gonna start the tax and all the things like around April. So really, that's not enough time to get everything from the bank. So that's why we asked to be a year, so that way we have time.
Is the property for sale?
I mean, the reason why I just put that one, we're looking for the partner.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we're getting calls on it that the
Yeah.
property is for sale.
Yeah, we just like
So
looking
it's-
for a partner. If there's anything's happen,
Okay.
and we not get the loan, so that at least we got partner, we can build with it.
Through the chair?
Yes.
And if you want, and I know the ordinance states 12 months, and if we want to give them the extension for 12 months, maybe you just get an update at 6 months or something submitted within that time frame. I just don't want to, like with this one, it started, and we thought we were going to get a development there. I had some issues with the neighbors over on Birchdale, but they did help rectify those. And they all thought they were going to get development with a fence down that side and everything like that, and then nothing's moved now since that approval, so I'm just trying to make sure we try to keep things moving.
Well, let me just ask a couple more questions. So if we say, okay, we're going to give you tentative approval for 6 months, do they have to come in and spend more money to come back before us to get request the additional 6 months?
They do. Unless we look at it and, I don't know, Jeff, what do you think about that?
Well, if we give them 12, if you give them the extension for 12 months, and then in 6 months, we look at it, if they're moving forward and we know there's a plan, by then, there should be plans submitted within 6
Right.
months, for sure. As long as they got something submitted within that 6-month time frame, then that would extend that to 12 months, and could we
Yeah.
do that administratively?
Yeah, just do it. It's not a new request. It's just coming in for a status update.
So what if it was an extension for 12 months, but something has to be
Yeah,
submitted for
we
review
need
within
a
6?
status at 6 months.
So you're saying we could do a motion to grant a 12-month extension pending a 6-month
Yes.
update on progress?
Yep,
Yes.
yep.
Yeah.
Perfect,
That would be perfect.
perfect.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Is there any other discussion?
Through the chair,
Body.
it seems like you really believe that they are making progress or anticipating to make progress. Is 6 months enough, or do you want an update at 3 months or 4 months, or is 6 months?
So
A long
actually, they're
time?
not making the progress that we like. They've cleared property, so they're getting it ready for development. However, the site plan that you approved needs some minor modifications, and it hasn't been submitted. So just as we talked about last time when we were making this ordinance amendment, we have all their stuff all over the place. It's still out, it's still open, it's active, and they're just cleanup things to get this.
To Carol's point, the tree and woodland permit was issued in July of '24, and then we haven't seen any other movements since then.
Yeah, since then.
So I would suggest a 3 months follow-up, because it seems like they are just dragging their feet for whatever reason. You want them to get going, they're dragging their feet for whatever reason. And I think 6 months is just a long time for them to continue to drag their feet. If we really need them to get going, then, they have 90 days to either say what they want to do. Yeah, we'll grant them the 12-month extension, but in 3 months, we need to see something. Are you doing this or not?
To
Well,
what value, we have no leverage to do anything in 3 months, is the way I understand it, except a check-in to see if any progress has been made at all.
That's why, in 6 months, it's very reasonable, they could get a revised site plan in,
Okay.
cleaned up, get engineering in, and be ready to pull a building permit by spring, by May. That's a very, very normal process, and we get it, that they're trying to maybe sell the property, and that way they come back in May and they say, hey, look we got a deal, somebody else is buying it, they're gonna finish it up, and off we go. Then we're not holding on to it for another 6 months. This way, it gets them doing what they need to do, with the ability to come back and ask for another 6 months. There could be complications in there, but this way, it keeps it rolling, so. We have to, yeah.
I'm sorry,
Just
what
leave it
I'm
at that.
concerned about is, how do we deal with a challenge? If we are challenged on, you said 6 months, the ordinance says 12 months.
Oh, the ordinance says they can ask, and you then can come up with anything in between. If you feel that and again, we're gonna have a similar discussion on the next one. These properties have had activity happen on them. Most of the time, when people are coming and asking for these extensions, the property hasn't been touched. Well, this property's been touched, there's neighbors there. The expectation is you granted approval, you gave them a conditional approval, back whenever the expectation was they were gonna clean up those site plans, continue moving, get engineering going while they were working on some of this other stuff. But now we're getting calls from other people interested in the property. So, we're having to tell people, well, yeah, it's not really complete. They technically don't even have a complete site plan approval because the cleaned up plans haven't come in yet. So, and again, it's just these loose ends that, from an administrative standpoint, is a cost and a burden to the city. So we're just tightening up. John, I know you can probably talk about other communities. I know other communities that are much tighter than this, that, you get done, you come out of planning, they would deny something. Instead of all these conditions that you guys put on plans, they'd say, nope, no can do. Come back, get this stuff right, and, make sure you got a clean site plan for us.
So I'm trying to figure where we're sitting right now. At first, we discussed granting the 12-month and then requiring a 6-month update to see where they stand. I don't know if that's still acceptable or if you're still really leaning hard on a 6-month timeframe.
Can the 6 month, through the chair, can the 6 months checkup be handled administratively instead of them coming before us? Or do they need to come before us?
Yes, it can be handled administratively.
Okay. Are we okay with that?
Sure.
Through the chair, for
Sure.
the petitioner, I don't feel that you're confident in your own ability to make that 6 months mark.
The reason why I just say, I spend for the cleaning, I try to do much possible, but sometimes I got tied with the money. That's the whole thing. I want to build it tomorrow. So that's the reason why I said, even when I went to the bank, they say the 24, you're not making enough, so this year, if you make enough, so that's what I try to do it. So that's
Okay.
the reason why I spend all the money, all the taxes. I've been paying taxes since 2019. So it's not like something I just,
So it does sound realistic that we probably should look at 6 months, because it sounds like if we give you a year, it still may not be there for you, because you said if.
No,
And that's my,
the taxes is gonna be due,
right?
start from like around April.
Mhm.
So even when I send the paperwork, it's gonna take time, the approval with the bank.
Well, that's my whole thing.
Yeah.
You don't have it, you're hoping, and you said if, and you're working
it's not
towards it.
hoping.
It's a difference if you ask for an extension And then we say, okay, because you already have this in place, you are hoping and planning to have it in place. That's a different type of conversation. So in my ears, what I'm hearing is that I've already spent a lot of money. I'm not going to leave this. I want to do everything that I can, which is great. I'm glad you do. But we want to make sure that we allow you that space, but not give you any extra time to just have it sit there, and then we miss possible other people who may want to buy it and do something with it. So I
mean,
kind
when I
of looked
say
at it that way.
When I say I hope,
Mhm.
I mean, because bang, you don't know what's gonna happen. Could be the whole economy is gonna go down. You don't know what's gonna happen. So I say, when I say it's hoping, you know, everything's going down. I wanna do it as soon as possible.
I know, and that's exactly what I heard you say.
Yeah,
And
that's
my-
why I
and
wanna
that's my
do it as soon as
response.
possible.
There's a hope and there's a wish, there's a prayer, and there's an if. And so there isn't a.
There's no if.
And it's, well, that's what a hope is, you
No,
know?
I'm saying, hope is mean, it's good feel.
I understand.
But the thing when I just follow the thing, he say, if you do it there, you can get it.
Aha, if you do that. So
Of
again,
course, if you.
Again.
Do you have a guarantee next 2 minutes?
again, my statement
so that's
is,
it.
my statement is you don't have it, you're planning to get it. And so our concern is making sure that you do that, so we're willing to give you time, because we could just say no, as some of the other communities would have said, but we're willing to do that, so we're gonna meet you halfway, is what that says. And then after 6 months, then we'll look at that again.
But
We
I
have
did
no
the
problems with it, so.
Yeah, but I did the last and I got the approval. I cleaned the whole yard. So it's not something I just been sitting folding, doing nothing.
Understandable.
But you didn't, the key thing that we need right now is a revised site plan.
Yeah.
We've got a few things, it's, Peter's working on it, he said conversations
Yeah.
back and forth with the OHM. It's getting that plan cleaned up so that when the phone call comes, and we get a lot of them, you got a big price tag on this piece of property, people are wondering why that price tag is so high. They say it's because, they're telling us they have site plan approval. So here, the city, we're having to say, well, if you read the minutes, they have some conditions, and the answer that we have to give is, no, they have not submitted the cleaned up plan so that we have a stamped copy of a site plan. So when they want to, it's your business with how you're negotiating with these people that are looking at it, but it's a pretty, for a site plan, that somebody could FOIA it right now, get a copy of it, it's not complete, but if you're trying to sell this approval from us, it's not a complete approval, and we have to
Yeah,
tell people
yeah.
that. So can you get those plans cleaned up at least, so we can close the project out?
Can I clean up what do you mean clean up?
The plans need to be revised, so they need to be resubmitted with the changes per some of the they're their conditions, and, it wasn't much, there was just some, you needed a variance, you needed to go get the variance on the lighting, but you actually don't want to do that right now, because those do expire, and that is a whole new resubmittal. But just getting the site plan in with all these, they're kind of housekeeping things. And just getting those plans cleaned up so that we can close the project out. And then what you would just be dealing with are this time frame that you have until, to get engineering, get a building permit pulled.
Okay,
So-
What
At
Do
this
that.
point, it seems to me that my opinion is that to get you moving, we'll give it 6 months, and then if you're not to where you need to be, you come back before us and
Okay.
explain why.
Okay, sounds good.
So
So
within
is there a
6 months,
motion?
you get the site plan, within 6 months, you submit the revised site plan, the final site plan. Within that 6 months, administratively, that's great status. That's a great status update if you
Yeah, I
can get that
understand.
plan
Yes.
cleaned up in 6
Okay.
months. And if you do, then it goes to, you've got 12 months, you've got 6 more months to get through engineering and pull a building permit.
So after 6 months, when I just came, can I do exchange? But you guys, you need something active.
So between now and May 26th,
Okay.
you need to submit a revised site plan and get
Okay.
that site plan final approval.
Okay.
So then, if you get that and you're making progress on your engineering, we say, good,
Okay.
yep, the planning commission gave you to 12 months, you now have another 6 months to get engineering completed and to pull a building permit for construction. Does that
That
make
way
sense?
keeps you on task.
Okay.
Keeps you
Okay.
going, and
Okay, I agree.
you don't have to come back here. You know, everything's being done administratively.
Okay.
But we give you time, you give us plans.
Okay.
Mr. Long?
Yes, through the chair. Mr. Habib, I just have a question for you in regards to the property itself. Are you the legal deed owner of the property, or are you leasing the property?
No, there's no lien on it. No, I'm not gonna lease.
Are you the legal deed owner? You
Yeah.
own the property?
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
You're very
And I will say this, and I appreciate the commission's comments, and I work in several communities. I think the commission's being very fair with you in a lot of ways. One of the commissioner had mentioned the potential for another development on there. The big reason that long-term extensions are an issue is that this is a working body and ordinances are continually changing. Landscaping requirements, lighting, case law, there's a variety of things that happen. And so to have an approval at this point and to allow for an extension at this point, that project couldn't be developed if we made major changes in our ordinance. So I think the city's being very fair in regards to 6 months to make sure that, to gently move you along to make progress.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any other comments? Thank you. Okay, motion's in order.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Mr. Crova?
I'd like to make a motion to approve a 6-month extension to the site plan approval for SPR 2022-001 Global Truck Repair until May 20th, 2026, subject to the 5 comments in the Planning Commission summary report.
Support?
Motion by Mr. Crova, supported by Mr. Boboade. Is there any further discussion? This is to provide for a 6-month extension on SPR 2022-001 Global Truck Repair, and subject to the summary list on page 2 of the report.
So within the 6 months, that's where number 4 comes in there. Site plan being submitted for administrative review. So weren't you gonna think about giving him 12 months?
Yes.
If he got the revised site plan in within 6 months? So
We
ba-
could, I mean, that's a stipulation that we could consider, if that would suffice to get us moving.
Right.
Yeah, if the planning department's okay with that, I'm good with
So,
it.
so
But
basically,
he
it'd be a
submits.
12-month extension, subject to a revised site plan being submitted within 6 months.
So
Yeah,
Okay.
simple as that.
A revised site plan that's approved by
Yes,
the planning
yes,
commission.
to get a site
Yep.
plan approved,
Or-
final
or,
approval on the site
So
plan.
you'll revise that motion to say 12-month extension,
Subject to.
subject to
a
item 4.
revised- A
6
revised
months.
site plan
Yep.
being submitted for final approval before May 20th, 2026. That's 6
Are
months.
you agreeable to that,
Yes.
Mr. Boboade?
Okay, yep, I agree to it.
Any other
Quick question
discussion?
through the chair. You said submitted for final approval, and Commissioner Crover said approved. Which one is it?
Final approval. Because
Okay.
they can submit a revised plan, but if it's still got to be revised again, so they.
Final
they
approval
could-
through administration.
Through administrative review, yes, and they need to have final approval of that by May.
May 20th,
20th.
2026.
Yeah, so they've got, so it could
6
be 2
months.
submittals, you know, just depending on how, it should just be one, but this way, final approval, so we can close it out.
Okay, roll call vote. Mr. Crova,
Yes?
Mr. Boboade,
Yes.
Mr. Long,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe.
Yes.
Ms. Jemison.
Yes.
I vote yes. Motion carried.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep working.
Yeah. Hopefully, I just came, not hopefully, for sure. That way, you make her happy.
Good, I like that.
I'm not gonna use hopefully.
Great, thank you.
So, I'm good, guys?
You're
Thank you,
good.
guys. You have a good night.
You're
Thank
good.
you.
Get Peter working.
Oh, yeah.
Have him call me. We'll get those plans in.
Item B, SPR 2023-010, A1 Singh Trucking Incorporated. Is there applicant?
Yes.
My name is Mark Alsbrooks. I'm with Partners in Architecture, the architect on this project, 65 Market Street, Mount Clemens. We're submitting for an extension as well. We had originally sent in our extension for a 12-month. Carol had kind of put in the notes that they recommended a 6-month extension. I think based on the conversation that was just had with the last one, a 12-month extension with the stipulation of final site plan approval or any other type of items by the 6-month mark administratively would be a nice compromise.
That would work.
Yes, yeah, we've been waiting on one last item for the final site plan approval, which we actually sent in last week. So we've kind of marked off all our site plan approval items. Architecturally and engineering-wise, we feel sufficient to really get plans into the city as well as into the county. There's some county drain items, so we'll have those submitted. It's just a matter of the owner being able to get funds set aside and building permits pulled after that 6-month.
So if I were to state it, it would be, we would grant you a 12-month extension subject to, let's say, item 8, all comments and other agencies and departments being addressed on a revised site plan for administrative review and approval. Does that work at 6-month point?
Correct.
Okay.
This one's a little different in that the site is in use. They're running their business. It's in code enforcement. Jeff's been working real hard, through.
So I started working with Mr. Singh. I met him when I first started in '23, and had to do a bunch of work on the buildings. They were operating 2 businesses there, one not approved. And worked through, fixed everything, got going on site plan, came to see you guys, got a conditional approval, got a temporary C of O back at the beginning of '24, which is expired, which I have not been willing to extend until things move and we get into engineering, we actually see the work get done that would allow the business to operate on that property.
Okay. Is there any discussion? Ms. Jimson?
Yeah, to the petitioner, did I also hear you say that the owner is still trying to gather the funds for the project?
No, he's met with the bank. He just has to, once we pull for building permit, he has to, get the loan term started essentially. That's a pre-approval, I is what I would say.
So he's got a pre-approval, but he has to go through the process to get the funds.
Correct, yeah, he can't apply, he can't pull the funds, pull the loan until we have site plan approval.
Is there any question of whether or not that'll happen?
Not on our end. He recently partnered with another company, construction, a building management company. So we definitely see that he's invested on that end of, being able to actually construct this afterwards. A lot of our services include through construction, so we would be a part of the project through that portion as well.
So by the 6 months mark, I'm assuming that means that he will have submitted everything, and at that point, he should have all the funds he needs to move forward.
Correct, yeah. We would have drawn up engineered plans submitted to the city as well as to the county for the county drain portion of the work. And it would just be a matter of the approval coming through before that 6 months or after that 6 month, whenever that process of after submitting, how long that takes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay, motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion.
Mr. Krova?
I'd like to make a motion to recommend a 12-month extension, subject to a final site plan approved within 6 months by May 20th, 2026, SPR 2023-010A1 Singh Trucking -A1 Airport Cards, subject to the 8 comments in the planning summary report. Before I get a second, is that wording good?
It is. It
Okay.
picks up these conditions,
And then we have
you know,
a
which
date
again, a
on the,
variance needs to come, and then, but you started it off with saying, subject to the site plan approval within 6 months,
by May 20th.
which is just kind of clarifying number 8, and then the rest of the conditions. So no,
Okay.
that's good. I think Cheryl will probably be able to transcribe both of these cases very eloquently for you.
Okay, all right.
No, you're doing
I'm
a
good with my
job.
motion.
You're doing a good job.
Support?
A motion by Mr. Crova, supported by Mr. Boboade, to grant a 12-month site plan extension, subject to the conditions, one of them being that everything's done in 6 months, that is part of the summary list on page 2 of the Planning Commission summary report. Any further discussion? Roll call, Mr. Crova,
Yes.
Mr. Boboade,
Yes.
Mr. Long,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe.
Yes.
Ms. Jemison.
Yes.
I vote yes, motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next item that we have is 2025 Master Plan Update, Future Land Use Map.
I don't have one. Is there a- Good evening, Commissioners. Nice to see you again. This shouldn't, yeah, that'd be great, Jeff, thanks. This shouldn't take a lot of time, guys. We just thought it's important to keep you updated on how this process is moving along. If you recall, last time we talked about some future land use changes or clarifications or cleaning up, and that's what we continue to do. You were comfortable with the draft language where it was bumped up to city council, where they've distributed it to our neighbors, and they're still in that timeline to comment. And so we're waiting for those comments to be, if there are any, which usually there isn't, any comments that they would like to suggest to us to make changes. Again, we are looking to hopefully set a public hearing in December where where you would move this up to city council again. But these maps are coming along accordingly with some of the text changes. Map number 1 that you're looking at, we call these bubble maps, typically used in planning to kind of call out areas, especially in a larger city like Romulus, that this first map is where we really wanted to show the residents and future developers and anyone interested that, hey, we've got a lot of cool open space and recreation uses in the city. Communities are moving away from just this public designation because there's a lot of places that are classified as public, such as fire halls, city hall, DPW yards, cemeteries, where, yes, those are public, but we wanted to, with this map, to clarify the changes into a parks, recreation, and open space, so that when a potential person is wanting to move to Romulus, or a developer is looking to develop in Romulus, they're able to look at this map and see that, hey, all these green spaces are much more than just public. They're either recreation, open space, or parks. And so that's what the majority of these are, will change to this public recreation and open space title. And you can see that there's quite a few of them. We're keeping some of the more things like the fire stations and the animal shelters and municipal complex more related to the surrounding type land uses. In the stead that, or in the case that the city at some point wants to market one of their sites or sell one of their sites. So that's the first map. This hasn't really changed from our original map showing these moves from public to public open space and recreation. Where do I point this thing to? At the screen, at myself?
I might not reach.
Thanks. And what we also did, Commissioners, is we added some text language. You can see a memo that we drafted to allow for more explanation on why we made these changes on the maps. Map 2 is, as you know, like most communities, have a number of schools. Schools historically have been designed and planned within residential areas to walk to them. What we're doing is taking these school sites that were historically classified, again, as mostly public, changing those to the surrounding land uses. And that does a few different things. It shows, it doesn't stick out in a residential area. It shows that, hey, this is either rural residential, single-family residential, or similar. And also what it does, because we do have some schools that are in transition or even closed, allows for a look to the future for those sites and what may be the best use for those sites. And so you can see the different schools that we have in the city. We're going to be designating them as, for the most part, the surrounding future land use designation. And those are, there's 9 of those, and we're not really making any changes for that. Map 3, this is an interesting one, I think, and something that certainly the Planning Commission will be using in the future. And like I've explained before in the past, the master plan or the comprehensive plan is much more than just future land use maps. There's a lot of text in there, goals, objectives. What we tried to do was tie in a lot of these different studies that we've recently completed for the E-Course Road, for a housing study, for a lot of public input, and we've incorporated it into those. So this map number 3, opportunity areas, there's 5 of them that we're looking at, making some changes for potential future development with the idea that these make sense from adjacent land uses and potential land uses, but also doing our best to protect the existing residential areas. The first one, as you can see, is our Southern Gateway area, looking to rezone that to a more of an industrial type use. That's A1A. We'd be moving that to general industrial. Most of our properties just south of the airport, directly in the middle of the city, is already industrial. Number 2, we're kind of downsizing. You can see that area in green was all classified as public. Well, a lot of that is conservation easement. A lot of that is protected land, but that doesn't mean that we can't plan for some of this area that is green to allow for that missing middle or additional residential housing in our city. And so you can see that there's a mix of uses for number 2 that we're looking at. It's going to be rural residential, light industrial, and then the orange areas are multifamily residential. And of course, anything in the future that is proposed there, Planning Commission and or City Council will have a chance to review, whether it's a site plan or a special land use. But that just opens up the door for something that a lot of the studies have shown, and a lot of the comments from the public on these recent studies talking about a variety of land uses in the city. So you can live here, grow up here, retire here. And so that's number 3, or number 2. Number 3, we're looking to extend the regional business area on E-Course as the study, as the Baker study showed for the E-Course Road. Of course, there's going to be text on this in our master plan talking about if and when this is developed, that there will be no access onto Beverly Road to keep that regional area and that regional business just on E-Course and kind of transitioning from the south side of E-Course. Number 4 is based on recent changes that you made in regards to rezonings, the Super Y, the Ono property, changing that to general business. That's an easy one. And finally, number 5, looking at the, as I indicated earlier on our map number 2, talking about some of our schools and changing that to the potential for residential, especially adjacent to the existing residential, with potential other uses on Merriman across the street. So those are things that if they are proposed to you, it would include a rezoning and or a site plan. So these are opportunities areas. This master plan has not been a major changes. That's why we're calling it a kind of a revisions, and that's why it's only 43 days. So these opportunity areas would be included in the future land use plan. And I know you know this, but the future land use certainly isn't the zoning, but it gives you an opportunity when you're making some zoning decisions to say, okay, that works, or you can use some of the text to say that doesn't work. And so that's kind of a guide. The last Last map, map number 4, is more of a detail of our downtown. And again, keeping a lot of these public areas as changing them to more of the surrounding land uses. And it gives administration, city council, and others an opportunity to say, perhaps, maybe we may change this if we move City Hall, if animal shelter moves, those kinds of things. And I don't, none of those are in the works right now, but it's not unusual to have a downtown, in this particular case, with the public uses very similar to the surrounding existing land uses. So,
I have a question or two. On this one, the dotted line, the heavy dotted line, is that just, what is that area that's around the downtown?
That is the downtown.
that is just our downtown
That's
area.
our-
Okay.
Kind of our specific downtown area.
So, like where the hook and ladder is there, the old animal shelter, is that part of regional center or downtown? It looks like it's red. Is that downtown?
That's purple up in
Well, I couldn't tell what
downtown.
it,
The darker purple?
well, there's dark purple there, but right on the corner, upper
Oh, those are
corner.
property lines.
Okay.
Yeah, those are
So that's
just
gonna be
property
part
lines.
of the
Yep,
downtown.
Yeah.
And there are some outside, when we say downtown, there are some outside areas, the athletic center and some others that are near the downtown that we're making some changes to.
I just didn't know if that identified Tifa area or what. Okay. Any other questions, Ms. Jennison?
Yeah, I do have a question. Map number 3, southwest corner, Van Born and Merriman, the corner of Fairways and Gateway, that was supposed to be business commercial at some point. Has that been changed? Because it's still
The-
yellow, but,
The corner, that piece, that kind of triangular piece there,
well,
right at the
yes.
intersection.
Yeah.
Per the PDA agreement, it is commercial.
That's what I thought, but
But
it's
it's-
yellow on here, so.
It's just because it goes along with that overall surrounding area, but it's, the PDA is an overlay, it's an agreement on top of it. So, I don't know, I guess we can open that up as an agreement started in the 90s. Sometimes you do that when you gotta,
Sometimes you do, you may show that, maybe we can talk about that some
Yeah,
more, to see if we
yeah.
want to add that.
that's a good question, Edna,
Yeah, it's just,
because it's specific, yeah.
sometimes when you show that on the map, people get a little excited, but they don't know the history behind it, whether
Right.
it's a consent judgment or a different kind of agreement.
Because we're not designating it as a PDA. We
Right.
haven't pulled, on this map, we haven't pulled out.
As just as a future land use map,
Right.
and you may put that on maybe we put that on the zoning map as an asterisk kind of thing.
Yeah, no, that's a good question.
Thank you.
Mr. Long?
Yes. On map 4, I just had an inquiry as to number 4, when it says the police department headquarters, that's to remain downtown, but potentially, we might be moving the PD and fire over to Wick at some point. Now, when we move, if we make that move, should that land be designated as what?
It's remaining, it's downtown. That's just the designation. It's not a police station. It's the underlying designation of the property in the whole area.
So if say the police station would move, Commissioner Long, this map wouldn't change, it would still be
Downtown.
considered
Stay
as
downtown.
downtown, which gives the city the opportunities to market the site for a variety of uses.
Okay,
Yep.
all right, so it could be residential, mixed use, or
It
whatever,
could be,
right?
it could be commercial with residential above it, but that downtown designation gives us a lot of flexibility to say, hey, that works or that doesn't work.
At the same time, would we maybe have to change the zoning of the area or change the map where the police station is going to be?
No, it's allowed in the regional center.
Is it? Okay, good.
Thank you.
So I would think if we do get comments, we have a public hearing in December. We can continue to move this plan along. We'll get some of the text cleaned up, and we'll have a working document by early 2026. Wow, yeah. And this would move up to council for a final decision, but your hard work on it, they appreciated your comments from the last time we met. And as always, please get a hold of Carol with any questions or comments or things that you want to take a look at this. But I'm pretty pleased with and I've been helping you for a couple, 3 years now, but there's a lot of outside studies that this city does that we try to incorporate into this plan, which is a good thing.
So we do have, we have gotten some comments back. The main one was from the Airport Authority. We actually met with them on Friday. And they're gonna be looking at they made us aware, which we were aware, of the noise zones, which, for those of you that were on the planning commission before, you know, it's always a component of our master plan. We have to address the noise zone areas. We left it that we're gonna be meeting and kind of trying to figure out, do we wanna put, the noise zone maps are still in draft, he said, so we're looking, our current ordinance references the 2004 maps. So what we're gonna be doing is making a decision when we kind of move beyond this level of this map, is how to incorporate the impact of the noise zones in the rest of the document. So that's kind of part 2 of this. We're in part 1 now and just dealing with the future land use map. So that was a pretty significant comment that came up that we knew was coming, that we knew was more part 2 of the project. And again, more narrative. It could include the map in that section of the, you know, your big.
Would you put it as an overlay of an existing map?
Exactly, that's kind of what it would show, and then some verbiage talking about, well, this is what happens, or this is the impact of these districts.
Yeah, they used a word that I wasn't familiar with, air, what was it?
Avigation agreement.
Yeah, avigation.
Yes, thank you, Kevin.
Easement.
Easement, right,
Yes.
and I think that's really important in regards to the master plan and/or for folks who are gonna move to Romulus, or if we're gonna develop residentially, because of that easement or that area, and if it's designated as that, there may, or they're more likely than not, won't be an opportunity for the airport to provide insulation or windows or those kinds of things, where they've done that in the past for our city, Huron Township, those kinds of things.
So that was probably the most significant comment that came in. A couple other communities commented, you know, at the conference, ran into people that are nearby, and, ooh, cool map, the way you kind of, because it is a very unique way that we're presenting this, so we give Carla Wortman the credit for that. One of the things that we wanted to point out to you, because you're gonna see it soon enough, on map 3, there are 3 areas that, in addition to our public hearing on this future land use map, you're gonna be seeing some conditional rezoning requests. And the first one is under number 1, down in the Southern Gateway, the second DTW CRDC property, which is at the corner, if you see the star on the bubble. That area there, it was, you know, it's kind of in the works, but that is coming in for a conditional rezoning to M2 to accommodate a logistics center. So you will be seeing that next month. The other one is Smerman School, number 5. That one is a redevelopment project with looking at some potential changes on the front in the building, keeping the building and converting it to self-storage and some flex space. And we're in the midst of looking at that application right now, so you'll be seeing that in December. The one that you will be seeing, we haven't officially gotten it in yet, is number 3 up on the tower property. That application hasn't come in yet. Kevin, do you have any status on that? Is it coming? by the
No,
end
so
of
I
the
have
year?
my weekly meeting on Tuesday. I'll find out and ask
See when
more.
it's, what the
Yeah.
status.
What was the
of
name of
that
the developer? What is that that's up there?
is. The tower property,
The top,
Okay.
yeah.
that's North Point,
Okay.
so.
Okay. Anything else?
If I
think
could,
that's
through the
it.
chair, just real
Yes.
quick. So, a number of these different projects we've been, we've had conversations on. And one of the things that I wanted to really highlight from Friday's meeting, quarterly meeting with the airport, which has really grown, and I appreciate, John's attendance to that, and then Carol and Jeff, myself, and we're going to be inviting Chris Girdwood from Aerotropolis in to sit on these meetings also, because I think it really pulls together the region around the airport and what we're doing and what we're trying to, accomplish. But from my office and from, direction from the mayor, we're going after some pretty large money for the city through federal grants right now. For infrastructure, for potentially Smith Road in between Middle Belt and Merriman, for the final construction of Harrison Road between Goddard and North Line, Goddard Road itself in between Inkster and Middle Belt, expanding that to 3 lanes and doing the stormwater and everything that needs to be done there. So those conversations go a long way when you start integrating the airport and you learn that there's sound polygons and height restrictions and other FAA overlays that we have to have consideration with that. So bringing everyone to the table and doing that has been really good. But through that conversation, from an economic standpoint, we've been talking about the airport buffer property. And how do we look at the forward-facing portions of that and look for development, particularly on Harrison Road, because at one point in time, we brought to Tifa a project for Harrison Road to complete that section of it, that 1 mile section with full utilities was about $10 million. And we got a $2 million grant, but it didn't make sense to put $8 million in to get $2 million to only see a benefit on 50% of the roadway, because the other half of it was county property and really wouldn't be developed. So we kind of challenged Marcus up. Marcus told me, the economic developer from the airport, he went back to the board and said, hey, Romulus has an interest in developing this. Where and what can we do? And they looked at there's some wetlands over there and some other stuff, but they looked at that and they basically broke out some areas and said, hey, forward facing, we own this property, but it's outside of height restrictions, it's outside of polygons. There might be aviation agreements that we have to put on it that basically says, hey, you're building a business next to an airport, and there's gonna be noise, and you're aware of that, and you can't come back later and sue us because you built a building next to an airport. So there might be some of those type, agreements that have to be put in place, but they're really getting creative and looking at how we can utilize that buffer zone property forward-facing and leverage it for economic development in the city. So I'm excited about that, because I think that the relationship that's been built over the last 4 or 5 years with the airport and through Carol and Jeff and John and obviously the economic developer over there, Marcus, I think it's really getting to a point where we're starting to get creative with that stuff. And then also to the Southern Gateway property that Carol pointed out, that property is actually the logistics company for the airport. They're moving them off airport property, which is internally located, onto property outside of the airport, which is advantageous for us because then it becomes taxable. And where it was before, it wasn't taxable, right? So we're seeing stuff like that starting to occur, and it's a positive movement in the right direction. And then we just, like you guys will see, and zoning and everyone else will have to walk them through the processes and go from there. But I think it's been really good conversation. This process itself has been good for a number of different reasons. Even getting down to housing, we didn't realize that some of the areas around the airport that we want to develop housing with right now. In order to do so, there's an FAA process that we're going to have to go through, and they'll have those aviation agreements on their deeds as like, hey, you built a house next to an airport, it's going to be noisy sometimes. So it's just it's raising the level of awareness. It's creating good collaboration across multiple jurisdictional authorities, and really kind of I think kind of aligning the holes in the Swiss cheese so we can move forward and see a path forward. So I just wanted to add that in, because I think this has been a great process that's added to that conversation.
And anything that moves out of the airport is subject to our laws and ordinances.
Correct.
Fantastic.
Yep.
All right, we take no action on this. Thank you for the
No, just,
information.
we wanted to update you on it, just knowing next month is gonna be a busy month, a couple of the projects, timing is good with some of this concurrent stuff with development coming in at the same time, you're updating your map.
Seeing how we're going to have a big agenda, I think everybody needs to look at their calendar close. We're kind of shorthanded, so
Yeah,
if December is going to be tough, we better know it up front.
yeah, let us know. December 15th is what we're planning. I mean, that's, so if you know that you're not gonna make that, please let us know.
So next item is new business, and we have our 2026 PC meeting dates. I need a motion to accept that.
I make a motion.
Ms. Jamison? Support.
Support.
Support by Ms. Roscoe. To accept the meeting dates for our 2026 Planning Commission. Roll call, Ms. Jemison?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Long?
Yes.
Mr. Crova?
Yes.
Mr. Boboade?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Motion is carried. Next, Mr.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make another motion.
Yes, sir.
The planning department created a memorial resolution for Commissioner Jerry Frederick, and I'd like to make a motion to approve that. I do have a few things to say. Unfortunately, we lost Jerry this past month. The citizens of Romulus lost Jerry this past month, and most importantly, his family lost Jerry this past month. Jerry's been a well-known member of this community for a long time. He was a graduate of Romulus High School, I'd have to say early or mid-'80s. As far as I know, he's always lived in the southwestern corner of Romulus. He was very involved with the community, with the citizens, and then also he was part of the planning commission, the zoning board. He put a lot of time into it. Jerry had one heck of a memory. Jerry and his brother, they were the type of people you never wanted to argue with because they could recite things very easily. We're going to really miss him, and I'd like to read this memorial resolution and then vote on it. It says, whereas Jerry Frederick, during the 10 years he has served as City of Romulus as a planning commissioner, as well as 6 years he has served on the Board of Zoning Appeals, including a year on the BZA chairperson, has significantly contributed to and assisted in various functions and growth of the city of government, and whereas the performance of his duties and responsibilities in his working relationships were always characterized by an obvious dedication to getting the job well done. Now therefore be it resolved that this memorial be part of the official city records, and an official copy of this memorial be delivered to his family. On behalf of a grateful planning commission, I'd like to make this motion for his family.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Crova, supported by Ms. Jemison. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call. Mr. Crova?
Yes?
Ms. Jemison?
Yes.
Mr. Long?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Boboade?
Yes.
And I also vote yes. Thank you. Item 10 is reports on interest designations. Ms. Roscoe, do you have anything?
Yeah, I have a few things with the holidays coming up. The first thing is this Friday night, they have the Gobble Wobble, get that right, and it's a fundraiser for the Goodfellows. They start at the Artesian downtown Romulus, and they walk from there to Walter's Bar, I think, yeah. But anyways, it's $10. It starts at 5:30 is when the walk starts. 5 o'clock is check-in and warm-up at the Artesian, which is located at 36542 Goddard Road. And they walk all the way to Walter's Bar. And if you want to take it, you can park it at Walter's, and they'll shuttle you over to the Artesian if you want to. So they say holiday turkey attire is encouraged. It's just a fun time of fellowship and a good way to raise money for the Goodfellows. So that is this Friday night, and that is November 21st. And then, of course, we've got the annual tree lighting in Romulus coming up, downtown Romulus at the Historical Park area. And, of course, it starts at 5 o'clock. They've got hay rides, food to be down there. They got a petting zoo coming this year, and they have some craft vendors set up. So, and then the other thing they have, of course, Santa. Santa will come and we'll give them the key to the city, and the kids will be able to see him and get pictures with Santa. But also, they have Stuff the Bus, and they're asking you to bring non-perishable items and Stuff the Bus that will help Helping Hands here in Romulus, and the food items will go to local residents, whoever's in need, and so on and so forth. And the last thing we can't forget is Breakfast with Santa is Saturday, December 13th. It's at the Romulus Athletics Center. It's $15 per child. Adults are $5. You need to register and register online between October 1st and December 3rd. And if you got more questions about that or have issue with getting registered online, you can call the Recreation Department at 734-941-8665. Other than that, the holidays are coming up, and Thanksgiving will be here next week, and just want to say happy Thanksgiving. That's all I
Anybody
have
else
tonight.
Have anything on their designation tonight? Okay. Next item is communications. Of course, we have the project status report. I don't know if anybody has any comments on that.
Right, you see the 2 rezonings that I mentioned right on the front page there, and then some of these other projects. We actually thought we'd have 1 or 2 of them ready for site plan review, but they haven't come in, so they, possibly January, February could be
See, we
busy.
have another repair site reopened on Grant and Goddard. How many can we get in there?
Yes.
Finally, we have adjournment.
So moved.
A motion by Ms. Jemison,
Support.
support by Ms. Roscoe. Any discussion? Roll call, Ms. Jamison,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Mr. Long,
Yes.
Mr. Krova,
Yes?
Mr. Boboade,
Yes.
and I vote yes